What do I do if I get involved in a car accident with someone from out of state who has out of state insurance, or I've come into Florida and I have out of state insurance and I get hit by somebody in Florida? Well, as you can imagine, Florida has a lot of tourists. We are a heavily traveled state with Disney World and all these other places being here. People go to Miami, there's the Everglades, we have good football teams. There's a lot of reasons to come to Florida, right? And so when people do, and they get in accidents, those claims can get handled differently. So it's really important that you talk to a lawyer up front and early on when you are dealing with an out-of-state insurance company. So if it's your own insurance company, you're gonna have different benefits than we have here in Florida. In Florida, everybody has PIP benefits, and that will pay your medical bills at 80% up to a maximum of $10,000. There's also medical payments coverage you can buy as an option on top of that, but some states have mandatory PIP no-fault coverage up to a maximum of $250,000 or more. Some of them have no mandatory personal injury protection benefits at all. Some of them have the option where you can buy medical payments coverage. So that first part of the inquiry about who's going to pay your medical bills is different when you're dealing with your insurance company being an out-of-state insurance company. The other issue with that is if you want to bring an uninsured motorist claim. So a lot of people in Florida are driving around with no insurance coverage or no bodily injury insurance coverage. So if that happens and you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy, you're going to want to make a claim for uninsured motorist. However, that's going to be governed by the laws of the state where you came from. So here we have a 5-year statute of limitations on uninsured motorist claims. Other states are lower than that. So if you wait past, let's say another state has a 2-year statute of limitations on your uninsured motorist claim for breach of contract. If you go past that limit, you're going to lose your UM case. Whereas here, you'd be okay because you have 5 years. So it's really important up front to know, hey, how long do I have to bring my claim against my insurance company out of state? And it's going to be governed by the laws of the state where you entered that contract. Now, the other issue is, can I sue my insurance company here in Florida? So there's not an easy answer to that, but it's important, again, to talk to an attorney because we can figure out the best place to bring an insurance claim. If that insurance company does a lot of business in the state of Florida, then we can probably sue them in the state of Florida and stay in state court. And especially if we bring in the defendant who lives here. If they're insured out of state who does no business here and they only do business in, let's say, the state that they're headquartered in, or they don't do any business in Florida, and you can't find the defendant to bring the defendant in, that case is probably either going to get removed to federal court, or it's going to have to go back to the state where the insurance policy was issued. So that can be a little bit confusing. We kind of have the same considerations if you get hit by somebody with an out-of-state insurance policy. So some insurance companies in other states, they don't have to tell us what your those policy limits are. When you get hit by somebody who has a Florida insurance policy, there's a Florida statute that the insurance company has to tell you how much insurance coverage there is. In Michigan, for example, they're a non-disclosure state. They don't have to tell us how much insurance coverage there is. They might tell us on a phone call, wink, wink, nod, nod, hey, there's a lot of coverage here, but we might not know. So again, we got to start early. We got to figure out who the insurance company is, what state they're from. If you get hit by somebody from out of state, eventually go back to that state. So if we end up having to file a lawsuit, if we can't settle the claim with their insurance company, we have to serve them personally with the lawsuit. We got to know what state they're in, the laws of that state for service of process, and having process servers serve them with the lawsuit. So as you can see, there's a lot of considerations that go in to a case when you get hit by somebody who is out of state or you're from out of state. So if you're visiting Florida, or if you get hit by somebody visiting Florida, call us today. We can walk you through everything. We have experience dealing with out-of-state insurance policies, out-of-state defendants, out-of-state insurance companies. Consultations with us are completely free, so there's no risk to calling us today and seeing how we may be able to help you.